Science has confirmed something that women have intuitively known for centuries, yet society has spent just as long trying to convince us otherwise. It tells us that our value is tied to our youth, our fertility, our ability to keep up with an ever-increasing pace. And so, we arrive in our 60s and 70s and we might feel a subtle sense of being past our prime. A quiet frustration that the world sees us as fading, when deep inside, a different kind of power is just beginning to blossom. That feeling is not your imagination. It's the prelude to the most profound and powerful chapter of your life. And today we're going to talk about why the best is truly yet to come. I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and for over 15 years, I've had the privilege of helping women navigate the incredible changes in their bodies and minds with clarity and compassion. This space is for us. It's a place for real conversations, for science-backed wisdom, and for unwavering support. If that sounds like what you've been looking for, I invite you to subscribe and join our growing circle. And I would so love to know who I'm speaking with today. Tell me in the comments. Where are you watching from? It fills my heart to see where this community of strong, brilliant women comes together. Now let's talk about this idea of peaking. For decades, we've been fed a narrative that a woman's peak is somewhere in her 20s or 30s. It's a story of physical vitality, of youthful beauty, of a mind at its quickest. But that story is incomplete. It's like judging a magnificent ancient tree only by its spring blossoms, ignoring the deep roots, the sturdy trunk, and the life-giving shade it provides in its full maturity. Groundbreaking research in neurology and sociology is rewriting that story, and it's placing our true peak right where we are now, in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Let's start with the first and perhaps most common fear: the myth of the declining mind. I hear this concern so often. It shows up in small, worrying moments. Maybe you've walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there. Or you're telling a story and a name, a simple name you've known for years, just vanishes from your mind. It's frustrating, and for many it's frightening. It taps into a deep fear of losing our sharpness, of becoming irrelevant, or worse, a burden. I remember a patient of mine, a wonderful woman named Carol. Carol was a retired librarian, a person whose entire identity was built on knowledge and quick recall. At 68, she started noticing these slips, as she called them. One afternoon, she spent 20 minutes frantically searching for her reading glasses, only to find them perched on top of her head. She laughed it off, but later that day, she confessed to me that she had to sit down and catch her breath. The panic was real. She felt like her brilliant, organized mind, her greatest asset, was beginning to betray her. But here is the beautiful truth that science reveals. Your brain isn't declining. It's specializing. For years, we measured cognitive function based on something called fluid intelligence. This is your ability to solve new problems quickly, to process information at high speed, and to remember novel things. And yes, fluid intelligence can see a modest decline with age. This is the fast-twitch muscle of the brain. But there is another, more powerful form of intelligence: crystallized intelligence. Imagine your brain is a library. In your 20s, the library is brand new. The librarian is fast, zipping around to find the few books on the shelves. That's fluid intelligence. Now, imagine your brain in your 60s or 70s. The library is vast. It's filled with countless volumes of experience, knowledge, emotion, and connection. It might take the librarian a moment longer to cross the floor and find the exact book she's looking for, but the depth of information she has access to is immeasurable. That is crystallized intelligence. It's your accumulated knowledge, your vocabulary, and most importantly, your ability to see patterns that no younger mind could possibly detect. You are no longer just processing data. You are synthesizing wisdom. The solution then is not to try and force your brain to be fast again. It's to lean into its new strength, depth. Engage in activities that honor wisdom. This could be mentoring a younger person, learning a complex, layered skill like painting or playing a musical instrument, or even tackling a challenging crossword puzzle. When Carol shifted her perspective from fearing forgetfulness to celebrating her wisdom, everything changed. She started a small book club where the focus wasn't on remembering every plot point, but on discussing the deep, human themes of the stories. She discovered her mind wasn't failing. It was deepening, becoming richer and more insightful than ever before. Your mind is a superpower. It's time we started treating it that way. Now let's move from the mind to the heart. The second piece of scientific evidence that your peak is now is something researchers call the happiness U-curve. For many of us, middle age is a pressure cooker. It's the years of juggling careers, raising children, caring for aging parents, and trying to meet everyone's expectations. We're often running on empty, trying so hard to be everything to everyone. We look back at photos from our youth and feel a pang of nostalgia for a simpler, seemingly happier time. I think of a woman I know named Susan. At 62, her children were grown and her career was winding down. She had what looked like a perfect life, but she felt a strange emptiness. She told me, "Emily, I spent 40 years making sure everyone else was happy. My boss, my husband, my kids. I don't think I ever stopped to ask myself what I wanted." This feeling of being adrift after decades of service is incredibly common. It's a quiet ache that asks, is this all there is? Well, the answer from sociologists around the world is a resounding no. Large-scale studies, conducted across different cultures and continents, have revealed a stunning pattern in human happiness. It starts high in our late teens and early 20s, then systematically dips throughout our 30s and 40s, those high-stress, high-responsibility years. It bottoms out in our late 40s or early 50s, and then something remarkable happens. Starts to climb. And it doesn't just climb a little. It soars, often reaching higher levels of reported life satisfaction in our 60s and 70s than at any other point in our entire lives. Why does this happen? The reasons are as beautiful as they are simple. As we age, our priorities naturally shift. The frantic need for external validation, the promotion, the bigger house, the approval of others begins to fade. We become more adept at emotional regulation. We experience gratitude more profoundly for the simple things. A sunny morning, a conversation with a friend, the comfort of our own home. We have less time for drama and a greater capacity for joy. We finally give ourselves permission to let go of what doesn't serve us. The actionable step here is to consciously participate in this upward swing. It means giving yourself the permission that Susan was struggling to find. Start a daily gratitude practice. It can be as simple as thinking of 3 things you're thankful for before you get out of bed. Reconnect with a hobby you let go of years ago. Set gentle but firm boundaries with people or obligations that drain your energy. You are not being selfish. You are aligning with a natural, scientifically proven journey back to joy. You have earned this season of authentic happiness. And this brings me to my third and final point, which is the culmination of it all. The emergence of your emotional mastery. Think about how you handled conflict or stress in your 30s. A disagreement with a partner or a criticism from a boss could send you into a tailspin of anxiety or anger for days. Our emotional responses are often sharp, reactive, and exhausting. As we get older, we might notice a change. We might find ourselves less rattled by the small stuff, better able to see the bigger picture, and less likely to get drawn into pointless arguments. Sometimes we might even worry that we're becoming too passive or that we're losing our passion. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 71-year-old retired teacher. She described herself as a firecracker in her younger years. But recently, during a tense family discussion where people were getting heated, she found herself feeling calm. She listened to everyone, and instead of jumping in with her own fiery opinion, she was able to gently guide the conversation to a peaceful resolution. She later told me, "It was strange. A part of me missed the old fight, but a bigger part of me felt this incredible sense of strength in my stillness." Margaret was not becoming passive. She was demonstrating emotional mastery, a neurological gift of aging. Here's the science. Your brain's emotional alarm system, a little almond-shaped structure called the amygdala, becomes less reactive to negative stimuli as you get older. It doesn't fire off in a panic at every little thing. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the wise, rational CEO of your brain, has had decades to build stronger connections and pathways. The result is that you don't stop feeling. You simply stop being hijacked by your feelings. You have the ability to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting instinctively. Imagine a novice sailor in a storm, panicking and wrestling with the wheel. Now imagine a seasoned captain in that same storm. She is calm. She feels the power of the wind and waves, but she is not afraid. She knows her ship, she understands the sea, and she guides the vessel with a steady, experienced hand. That is you. That is your brain and your heart in your 60s and 70s. The way to embrace this is to trust it. Lean into your new role as the calm center. When conflict arises, trust your ability to listen without reacting. Offer your perspective from a place of wisdom, not a place of defense. This isn't weakness. It is the most profound form of strength. It's the confidence that comes from knowing you are emotionally unshakable. So, you see, the narrative of decline is a fiction. Your mind is not fading. It is deepening into wisdom. Your happiness is not behind you. It is rising to its highest peak. Your emotional sensitivity has not vanished. It has evolved into a superpower of emotional mastery. This is not just a hopeful message. It is a scientific reality. You are standing at the summit of a mountain that took a lifetime to climb, and the view from here is breathtaking. This is your time. It is a time for joy, for peace, for wisdom, and for a deep, unshakable confidence in the magnificent woman you have become. Embrace it. Celebrate it. You have more to offer the world now than ever before. Please, share this message with a woman in your life who needs to hear it today. Let's change this narrative together, one conversation at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, be well and be beautifully you.